everybody. Hope you're having a fantastic day, night, whenever you're deciding to watch this broadcast. So the beta may still be live. We are trapped within this forever eternal pain of me, username underscore Intel, and Navino, bringing you one match within Overwatch 1. Navino, how are you feeling?
Yeah, doing pretty well.
About fair. It's about fair.
Living the dream, vibing.
Yeah, that's absolutely fair. I mean, right now we're looking at Trolly versus Redveil, which are two teams that I don't have quite knowledge on, though. Just by looking at their icons alone, a lot of personality. One is obviously made in MS Paint, the other one a PNG. But give me a little information for those who may not be listening, who may not be familiar with these teams.
Redveil is the undefeated team. They are 2-0. I don't think they've dropped. They've only dropped, I think, one map in their first two games. Trolly Gang is 0-2, I want to say. Oh, see. And they just, like, I can't really tell with them because, like, they have a good roster on paper. But, like, they seem to troll.
Ooh. A little too much of the memesters. At least when it goes down to Busan, I feel like that's a map where you can maybe get a little funny. You can get a little twisty for it. It's very well known for just, how weird it can, well, not how weird, but how rush style it can be, so teams can get away with that more often than not. With it being mecha base first, I mean, this is a completely different meta than what I'm used to, setting up on that Overwatch 2. But, it's good to see this familiar brawl of the Ryan Diva kind of return.
Yeah, I mean, I assume we'll see, like, a bit of rush here. Like, honestly, like, ever since Overwatch 1, like, you're just going to see a lot of comfort picks, and you see right here with kind of, like, this Ryan Czar rush for Trolly Gang, and then a more classic rush for good old Redveil as we go to Mecha Base on Busan to start us off.
Yep. Already they want to take this foreground. How? That is so unfortunate. Supergoma is able to take out Phoebe incredibly early, and look at that, Jesus. It just has the full confidence to take that aggression. There's really nothing stopping them, and I've got to be real, for the team that isn't called Trolly, that was a very Trolly move.
Yeah, wow. Phoebe, which I'm pretty sure is Slime, kind of just got eviscerated.
Oh, no.
And then Jaquiza's, just kind of rolled up. And I gotta note, the Trolly Gang's without their best player, which is Red X. And so this is kind of surprising to me.
I have to agree, but with that wall blocking it out, it does seem they are getting a small isolation onto Spid, especially with this shatter landing through. It's able to absolutely take everyone out.
Wow. There's nothing really to say there other than, well, crap. Like, they've been really fast shadow, doing a really good job of sectioning people off and capitalizing on that. Like, this is a much different Trolly Gang than we've seen in the last few games, as they're just pushing their momentum here.
Yeah, they really just do not care about what their opponents are doing, where their opponents are going. As you see, they're already looking to just play up to that spawn door, and they're building up to the ult charge that they really want, the High Noon, the Blizzard. Those could be really big ultimates, especially because the moment that they get into the next fight, they're catching out the Reinhardt. They take out the Shatter before it even comes out, so Speed Azul just have no chance to help out the rest of the team.
Wow, this is, like, impressive. I will say that there was a trade recently. I'm pretty sure it was, I don't remember what team Speedy was on before, but Jay Keys was on Redveil and went to Trolly Gang.
Well, I mean, we're seeing that difference. They are able to finally make some headway, committing the Shatter and Blizzard to a team that just was not prepared for that speed. And it is going to give them room to the point, but this is at like 78%. That's a really bad way to kind of bring your feet back.
Hey, but they did it in a good way, where they brought it back. They still have, like, a whole fight, so, like, they can lose a fight and get back in time. And which is really key here.
That's a really fair point. They're already set up, and they have the ultimates to play around it. That wall is slowly going to stop the High Noon, but it's not like they aren't going to just heavily commit. Oh. Now Glacial using that Blizzard is going to be forcing them back, able to get 2 initial picks off of it, and touching the spawn doors just for good luck as a measure.
And this is why not running a Diva can sometimes be very, like, detrimental. Like, you saw them, they saw the bubble usage of Marquesi, and they just walked in. And when they walked in, they used Blizzard. They were able to basically get a free Blizzard off here.
Yeah, that's a pretty impressive part. As they decide to go onto a different angle, using that high noon takes out the Zarya. This is a harder point for them to be able to contest, as once again the wall is going to stop them from being able to reunite the ult economy. Once again, going back in favor for the side of Redveil. It's actually impressive how much they are synergizing their abilities.
Yeah, I mean, again, really good wall from Glacial. Glacial kind of standing out here is like, now that they have the momentum, it felt like maybe like Trolly King did really good at keeping him off back foot, and now that it's like a seesaw.
Yeah, we are going to be seeing, though, two shatters kind of counteract each other. Grab's going to keep them by the wall, but the bomb's going to be giving them some more space. Back into this neutral fight is what matters the most, because that wall splits off the supports from the tank lane on the side of Troll. You already see 3 fall, and the rest of the team just can't really do anything. That time that we kind of pointed out before is crumbling, but it did cost the majority of the ult economy for the side of Redveil.
RKC switches to D.Va, probably have a better time here, but holy, the pace set by Speed. Speed has no fear. 0 fear going into this.
I absolutely agree. We do see that swap onto the D.Va, even a touch onto the point. I do like the fact that the May's the one sitting there. That's a lot of pressure they can have, though they have to worry about this High Noon plus window. It's not going to be used as a combination, with High Noon still sitting at a safe place. Eventually it will fall, and they lose the May before the Blizzard could come out. That's absolutely detrimental. You're seeing the rest of Trolly trying to do the best to fight onto the point, but they're split. They don't have a Reinhardt to be able to block out that shield, and slowly everybody is falling. Even Glacial is able to commit their own Blizzard, forcing everybody to get off the point. I mean, I can see what you mean. Trolly, on paper, look very good, but I have to question some of those decision-making.
Wow. Big thing is that I've noticed thus far is just the pace set by both teams. It was like very all in from either side. But while Redveil kind of maintained composure under the pressure, Trolly Gang, as it went back inside the favor of Redveil, kind of just crumbled almost. They didn't know really what they wanted to do. It didn't seem like they knew to play together. And like you saw Darman get picked right before he could even use the Blizzard. And now you're going to see a ball hog matchup with Briggs Zen versus a classic rush. I don't know how I feel about this, because in theory your rush comp should do that well, but I don't know like if the hog is really the answer either. So we'll see. Like, I do like the pace set by Redveil, but I could see them having a lot of difficulty in this map, which is very Briggs Zen friendly. Unless they just kill the hog emoted.
This is very Trolly, and well, I mean, you need that hog there. If you're looking at the statistics as it is from the last map, they aren't really mirroring it in damage, and as you see, Speed charges on to the point. They don't have to worry about the squishies, because Jesus doesn't have the follow-up damage to be able to shut down any squishy. The entirety of Trolly have to back up, have to try and find new ground, but they do not get control of that point.
You know, I wouldn't feel too bad about Trolly Gang, because giving up percentage here at first is normal. But Reefy gets that pick, so ideally you want to pick them apart as time goes. Just putting pressure, hopefully getting a pick, as you see the Ryan's getting kind of bullied here. And that's what their victory key is.
Yeah, it seems like the supports and everybody else got way too aggressive. Very impressive early minds from Speed, as the boot will take out Speed. They do have to worry about this window, but the Baptiste is all alone. Has to use immortality to themselves. Trolly's own tactics absolutely starting to crush them, because that high noon, there's nobody to focus out on. They managed to troll the trollers.
Yeah, but this is what I mean. Like, as I said, like, they gave up that first 34%, but it's not really that big of a deal to them. Oh, even though Azali gets 3, like, because giving up that first fight is normal, right? You want, but once they're on point, which is a very open point, you just have so many different angles of damage that it just picks them apart, like an operating knife. Oh wow, Glacial though gets a pick already.
Yeah, what are you gonna call it when that Zenyatta falls with Transcendence? And once again, as you're looking, Mark is just sitting there with the immortality. Had to use it early because they get died by the Wrecking Ball, putting pressure onto that point. That's a really nice idea, especially because you get it for free. There's nobody who really wants to touch it, but you're still having to worry about those who are isolating you out. You can already see the Wrecking Ball is starting to move in, put pressure onto that point. The Soldier 76 using that visor, hoping to pick. That hog is picked up. They may take out Phobe, but there's really not much they could do besides from sit still. No defensive abilities, no defensive ult, until they use that high noon and bomb to try to even the score. But once again, it's going to be a similar dud to this fight.
But as I said before, like, they've just been accruing percentage. they're literally playing this game where they can just keep like just accruing percentage at like these 30% intervals until they get to a fight where like Trolly Gang cannot afford to give it up. And I don't know how I feel about the BAP Zen swap here, because I noticed I didn't say that before, but like the BAP just does. Honestly, that might be why Reefy died, because there's really no peel for the Zen outside of Immortality, unless like if you want to commit something like Immortality so early, like it could really hurt you later in the fight. Brig just gives you more consistent peel. And also like I think they're struggling with point contest because of the Hog instead of like a Diva. But I really like this engage from coming from Redveil.
Yeah, the Sound Barrier is not a bad idea, giving them that extra health, but it does get counteracted by the Transcendence and the whole Hog, stopping them from entering on the point. I mean, the Mines is a bit of an overkill. Nobody's really going to be walking into that, except when you hook Runner into it, helping to take out that mech. He does manage to find out the Zenyatta, and the Visor's going to come in to finish out this fight. That percentage finally going in favor for the side of Trolly Gang as well.
It was intentional, but it's really kind of cool to see how RKC plays around the mines. Like, he just tries to hook people into the mines, and it's funny. Like, I don't know how... I highly doubt it's truly intentional, but it's been working. He's done it, like, 3 times.
I think one of the bigger problems now is what are they going to do on the side of Redveil to kind of play against this. They want to play onto the drum. They even have the Diva run out, but losing that Moira is detrimental to this fight. You can already see as the Monkey's going to be following close, the rest of the team is split, toe tapping onto the point, but there's not really much they can do as that Diva wants to do their best. It actually helps to get a bit of chip damage until eventually they take out the Roadhog. This is a bit more in their favor, but their Diva no longer going to be sitting onto the point. It's actually going to be up to Glacial to get the touches at this second. Being able to stay there for a little longer. The Moira's return to help, but unfortunately does not seem it is enough. Mine, Transcendence, everything was just in favor for the side of Trolly Gang. So everybody slowing the stagger in, but in the end, it's just not enough. We will be going over to downtown to try and, you know, finish this series out.
Yeah, wow. This is like, it's wild to me. Like, they've committed, like, I really like the engage, but now I look back on it. The beat from Phoebe, it's not Phobe, it's Phoebe, was rather, like, it didn't really do anything, and then that was their only ult, and they didn't have anything going last fight because they made that 6-man swap so late. I feel like you need to commit to something here, and they're going to run the ball hog comp here again, which I think on downtown is it's much easier to run rush. It's much easier to run rush on this point than it is everything else. Than it is on what's that, on Sanctum or whatever it's called.
Yeah, I mean, that's the one point that nobody ever knows her name, so it's completely understandable. At least for me, I'm more worried about what the side of Redveil, their supports are not really keeping up compared to 1-2 and Reefy Deefy. So as this fight kind of commences and you see that charge miss out on the Hog, eventually they will be picked off similarly to the Zenyatta, but that's solely because the wall keeps them from regrouping with their team, taking out the Widowmaker. They even get the touch onto the point. They're the ones who are going to control the momentum.
Yeah, I mean, you saw right there, they walked in the Hog, they walked in the core, were able to section them off and get kills with their own poke and their own stuns, because what are they going to do, run away? They don't really have the mobility to run away. Like, they're running a Widow. Now that they're going to a Reinhog Pharmacy comp, Marquis also uses the Immortality. That's interesting.
Yeah, that is very interesting. It does seem like that charge is going in for a Hail Mary. You're now split off from the rest of your supports. I mean,
they're going to give a free flip here.
Yeah, you're getting the free flip, which isn't the worst thing scenario, but, I mean, you're not really going to gain the fight afterwards. As you see, 1-2 gets picked off, the Tracers somehow still alive, managing to annoy them. It's an interesting idea, but wait a minute. Actually, they're getting the recontest here. They may be able to have... No, they will get the flip, but does that matter too much? They've lost out their Diva. The Mei is far in, able to put pressure onto the Zenyatta, but not to finish them off. Eventually, they will be able to. That was pretty close. I have to give props to Redveil.
Yeah, I mean, X-Runner kind of just 1v2'd their Pharmacy, while the rest of them went point and killed the Tracer. And after that, it's like they just have more sustain overall with the BAP alive. If the BAP stays alive, Redveil has such a good chance staying here. And now we're seeing Trolly Gang do kind of musical chairs with their heroes. Much like how we saw Redveil do last point, to be honest. as now they're on this monkey diva thing with Ana
Yeah,
Zen with
they're
Alvaris.
trying. They're trying to figure out something that works, but at this moment, it's not really the best idea. That barrage, I don't. You know what? I'm not going to question it. It does get taken out by the high noon, and there's a window. They decide to actually dive into it, and I think the evidence speaks for itself as the entirety of Trolly Gang have to retreat. Even the Blizzard gets committed to confirm these staggers.
Wow. They're gonna have a really like rough last fight, but they're still gonna fight. And what's nice is for Redveil, they still have 3 ults. But I like the idea of the barrage just trying to like catch him off guard. But the noon, which is really well timed, and Redveil just punishes the aggression.
Extremely. Especially with Reefy Deefy actually committing similar damage to the DPS. I mean, that's important. But the 2K bomb! X-Runner able to make a name. They even get the Shatter solo on the Soldier, confirming their victory. Redveil managing to take Busan in a pretty impressive fashion and the lead in this series.
Play of the game.
Wow. I got no words really.
And for me, it's kind of like a lack of words, a more room of questionability on the side of Trolly Gang.
I mean, they had some good looks, honestly, but it just felt like that on downtown, they just couldn't decide what they wanted to do, right? And it's kind of like how Redveil felt on Sanctuary, or whatever that's called. You know, it just was, that mega base was really kind of the make or break, where the Rushmere went in favor of Redveil. Well, it felt like the other 2 points were rather dominant either way.
I would also say it's also a lack of just priority. I brought it up a little bit, but Trolly Gang, their support, Reefy Deefy, was able to mirror the damage of their Tracer, and which was the Harman, which is really curious because that's not really honest job. It's similarly, that's like something you can see from a Baptiste who is supposed to be getting consistent damage similar to the rest of the DPS, but I don't really think that's honest job. You should be rotating those nanos, should be helping out the rest of the team, and as well as Trolly Gang was doing to kind of bring their stats kind of closer. I'm more curious on why the rest of the team isn't having this target priority. I'm never going to question a team that switches their compositions up too much, but a team that doesn't try to make it work is always going to kind of get that side glance, right?
Yeah, it's interesting.
Okay.
I don't know how to really feel because like I think Trolly King is like I really thought they were going to be really competitive, especially after the first 2 points. Because like first point they did really well. Even though they lost that point, they were really competitive. The rush meter, they knew how to. They maintained like Super Gomez was really good in the cast. Darman had a pretty good game on the May, and they just maintained pace really well. And then second point, they won right, playing like just almost like a count, not like pretty much a counter comp, right? While the third point, it just seemed they went back to the Trolly game I would have expected going in, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I guess that just lives up to the name that they're rocking, Trolly Gang. I'm guessing that they really just want to mess with our minds, maybe, especially because map 1 tends to be that map where teams just want to get a sense of their environment. They're fresh off of the scrim. Maybe they didn't have the warm-up scrim, so they were using this time to kind of get a second to breathe, figure out what they want to do. And our next map pick is really going to be, I think, the decider on who's going to take that lead into the series. Because I think Redveil look good, or at least they look more confident comparatively to Trolly Gang, but I think Trolly Gang still has the element of you don't really know what we're going to do because I don't think we know what we're going to do.
True.
So, I mean, that comes up to the question. They are sitting in a sense of putting in this map, but Navina, I kind of want to bring up a question. As we looked at that map, the DPSs, it wasn't really a fight against kind of DPS versus DPS, especially because this game still relies more on that 2 tank factor. I mean, should we really be paying more attention to these tanks? I mean, they should be technically doing more, especially with that extra hero, but we saw Trolly Gang side not really kind of benefiting off of that.
I mean, I thought like RKC and who was the main tank before? Jakizas did really well. It's just it felt like there was more synergy coming from Redveil, more some individual tank play. So I'm interested to see how that goes overall. Does that make sense? I don't know if they would like benefit more because like how the metagame plays in Overwatch 1 versus
Oh.
Overwatch 2 is very different.
Mm-hmm.
What?
No, sorry, I got distracted.
I'm just waiting to figure out what map they're playing.
Yeah, I have to agree. That's kind of on my mind as well. Because when we're looking at this, I mean, my idea is what are these supports doing to kind of help and peel for the rest of the team, especially Phobe, who's been dying consistently. First
I
off,
want you to say it with me, Intel. I want you to say it with
I
me.
said Phobe. Is it
It is Phoebe.
Phoebe?
Phoebe. B. It's 2 syllables.
Phoebe. See, this
Phoebe.
is. It's only in League Zero will I ever get the names wrong.
No, that's false. You get them wrong in every league.
Yeah, you'd be surprised actually. All right, I've got some good moves to just not say anybody's name when I cast in other places. That's how no one else knows I can't pronounce things right. That's the world I live in. But you know, I'm not traditional to how things are going to work or really what map type we're supposed to be on. So, what map type are we looking at?
It's hybrid.
It's hybrid. I can give you that fair assessment. I mean, uh, hybrid could be a different thing. These players are sitting here trying to figure out what exact map they want to do, even though they're sitting at the level. For me, I can maybe see a Nike Vault coming out if that's in the map pool because I'm living in a world where the map pool is not in my knowledge. You know, I'm sitting here. I decide to not research.
Oh, it's Kings Row, Hollywood, and Nike Vault.
Okay, so at least I'm sitting here with a bit of pride on my chest. We will be going over to that Kings, which
Wait, are we? Did they pick Kings yet?
Reddix is saying Kings as the losing side, so I could definitely see them going on to Kings. That's a map that everybody tends to like, so it's not something that we're going to be like a troll moment.
I think they're probably not are yet, but how long do they need?
Well, I guess it's a question for them to decide, quite honestly. It seems that they want to spend a bit more time talking to each other. Maybe they just want to, you know, have a little bit of cake with the birthday coming up. But it is a little bit in delay, so we thank you so much for, you know, continuing to stay in and watch while we're in this moment of staring at these players, hoping that they go into the game.
Yeah, I'm kind of just waiting.
Yeah. So we're actually gonna
Yeah,
go over to a break just while we you know, get these players prepared and ready to go into the match. So don't you go anywhere. We'll be right back with this League Zero match. Hey, welcome back, everybody. We are here, and we are with the players prepared.
we went to break at the wrong time.
I mean, we had expectations. A player was getting food. We didn't know what was going on. Players aren't telling us. So, I mean, it was a break nonetheless. So, I mean, players got to stop looking at the hallway of Navino, having to worry about if a ghost is going to be appearing. So,
Okay.
at least you're on that bright side. But let's talk about King's Row. My goodness, this map has not changed. Well, in more of a sad way of how players are going to be looking. And could that be assumed, right? Just with like Brawl and how teams really like to run that rush.
Oh my god.
This is a we're going to be getting in a swap, actually.
I don't think there's gonna be a swap.
They're requesting a swap.
Wait, are they requesting a swap?
Yeah, they are requesting a swap. Speed. No, not speed. Slime.
Oh yeah, okay.
Offer slime. So we may
Shows
actually.
the map has started. Is up. PG if they want to allow.
Yeah, I'm a little bit more surprised. They did not decide to go with that swap beforehand, and we have to sit in this moment where uh, the game's on pause. We're hoping for it to go R, and they are not wanting, just taking their time. But at least we get a sentiment of just what these teams are going to run. And, I've always seen this quite interesting. The Ana versus the Baptiste. That's always a weird kind of matchup because I like the ante more on Ana than I do on Baptiste Immortality, and yet Bap is still played more.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm trying to figure out this.
No, completely. I mean, this
Just keep
at-
talking, Intel. Just keep
Hey,
talking.
at this level, it's basically what I'm here to do. And I gotta say, I'm quite curious on what these players are most likely planning to do, especially when you're looking at the differences. Especially as me coming from casting a little too much Overwatch 2, then immediately moving into Overwatch 1. It is a different disparity because you're looking at these teams, you're looking at them. Ironically enough, I've seen less of the players together than I do in Overwatch 2, which is really funny to me as I'm more worried about what their plan is going to be because even though they're playing these wrecking ball competitions, which often work off unifying each other and then going in, uh, doesn't seem like they're really working with it. But at least when it comes down to players who have been surprising me, I do want to give a bit of love towards X Runner. I think that Diva has been a little phenomenal. The more that they've gotten to play, the more that they've gotten to try, and that is specifically on the fact that of the utilage of the DM, the body block, protecting whoever is there. And as we go in, thankfully enough, especially with the swap coming out, we're gonna get a sense of what the heck is gonna be happening.
Yeah. So we saw
Attackers
they swap.
30 seconds.
They have the drop himself, Cop Drop. I was told to refer to Cop Drop as just him by Azure, so him is in.
Question mark? Okay.
The question mark. It's the Rushmere. It's what we all expected. There's nothing really more to say. It is just the Rushmere.
5, 4.
Yeah.
I got nothing else. It's the same old King's Row.
Yeah, I mean, you're absolutely right. I just think it's a matter of how these teams are going to play it. You'd imagine with the game out for as long as it is, maybe compositions will switch, or maybe a charge from Jesus would it be going into the backline of their opponents after losing.
Where is Orion going?
Yeah, don't know. Don't know.
How do they not kill anyone?
I don't know. That's even a bigger question. We do see the charge on the point eventually. Jesus is going to be falling. There's an immortality there. It wasn't really needed. I don't think Trolly were going to find an execution on it. But that's first fight. One side has an ult economy. The other side doesn't. That's the best way I can see it.
This is a really interesting team. Really interesting team. I have no words for this other than Jesus fucking pinned the point.
Now, they are going to officially take a fight, using that window in a good sense, helping to even up this damage, but eventually Speed doesn't have that shield. Fire Strikes will be taken off from it. That's a big point from Reefy, helping to bring this back in their favor at their very questionable first team fight.
Yeah. I mean, they really, Azali goes for the noon, gets killed because Immortality comes out like a second too late, and then they just get value out the window, and they win. It's pretty simple, and they have really good ult economy going into their B take.
Now as they take this fight, that High Noon is going to be used against the Blizzard. It is going to give them some room, and, well, it does give them a bit of space. I mean, Jesus and Reefy are falling, so they have to back out. They cannot take this fight.
Yeah, and they shatter just to, finish off the kills. You know, I respect it. But Red X gets a kill on the Speedy. Speed. This is very interesting. I have this is quite literally who can int slightly less. That's what it feels like right now.
What I would more say is who's deciding to put themselves in the right place, throughout the entire point. Jesus is very rarely with the rest of the team. In this scenario, that's going to be different. You're seeing them already move up in the streets, and interestingly, we are seeing that space being given to that corner. X-Runner does shatter. That's going to be stunned out. X-Runner does have an opportunity to throw out that bomb and will to trying to counteract this sound barrier, but to take out Red X, and well, that wall's going to be blocking them off from getting too much value with the Blizzard. As you see, Jesus going in for that very aggressive charge, eventually falling through. You're absolutely right. I mean, that fight is just a prime example of who is hinting first.
Yeah, I mean, Jesus gets his shatter canceled by a really nice flash from his Ollie, and then the Blizzard comes out, really nice play by X Runner to try and use bomb to create space, and the Blizzard catches no one, and there goes the fight. And now Redveil has an ult advantage going to this fight, so you should see this going forward. Outside of that, it's been pretty straightforward.
Yeah, more than anything, I really just want to see them work as a
Why
team.
is Gomez there by himself?
I mean, you're asking the wrong questions. I think the weirder questions is, what is this fight turning into? As the bomb gets thrown way too far out, and that immortality is not enough to save them against the Blizzard. I mean, Gomez being there by themselves was the least of the issue when the rest of the team, in the end, kind of was there with them in spirit.
Yeah, that was something, all right. And now they go Orisa Hog. And RKSC dies already.
Trolly are living up to their name. They lose 2 already. They peek the bomb that they knew was behind the wall the moment it breaks, and they fall to a team kill. I mean, at this point, especially with this composition, the ult economy, it's going to be incredibly difficult to even break through this choke. And yep, look at that. The fight even takes itself to their spawn doors, Navina. They're deciding to continue this. I mean, the Orisa Hog is, it's all fun and dandy, but I don't think...
And they have a Genji now.
Yeah, they have a Genji, they have a wall, they have a Blizzard stopping them. I mean, poor Trolly gang are being held in their spawn unconsentingly.
I don't know if that's how I would phrase that, bro.
And I don't know the best way to phrase it.
They're just getting, slapped around.
Yeah, they even get the DM stopping the Roadhog from taking out Glacial using a window. They have the wall to at least give them some room, but Super Gomez is going to fall, was split out from that ability. And look at this, at least they're staying in their own spawn. They got that free damage, eventually able to take out the Baptiste and the Blizzard placed into the hotel. A curious movement in itself, but it does allow to secure the picks and eventually break this close hold.
I have no words, really. They just press Q, got some value, but RKSC still dies. But they are getting free progress on their cart, because the Hog is just vibing on point. This is a very curious game. Very curious. I really have no idea what to say at this point.
I think that's the love of League Zero that you got to be looking out for is a Roadhog sitting on point from the rest of the team. And I would say, yeah, that's free percentage, but I don't know how good it is. They have ultimates coming online, but it's not like they're going to have anything stopping the Shatter.
Yeah.
Already we're seeing Redveil kind of get set up. They have the mobility and the option to charge up. They Shatter almost into the shield, but able to take out the Maid, then put pressure
Right.
onto the back line. I mean, there's just nothing they could have done.
30 seconds remaining.
I have no words for what I'm watching.
Like this.
Oh,
is
and
more,
then Jaquiza's solo whole hogs X runner. Classic,
That's what
classic.
It's what you got to do to be able to win these fights. Look at this. It's a Hog inside the small room fighting a Mei and Lucio. The rest of the way, the entire team is up there. They Mei walled up solely for that fight. It's at a Blade 1v1 against the High Noon all the way in the back, and then the rest of the team moves up using this Bongo. They will be caught out by the Blizzard, but the Transcendence is going to keep them up, nullifying that ability. And now this is looking a little more favorable for the side of Redveil as that wall stops them from escaping. That Orisa's being full out ignored as they want to take out the Genji jumping in them. Ball is going to be able to get that damage going on top of the high ground, stopping the window from
No
getting
shot, they
too
just win
much
this
room.
randomly. I hate this.
I mean, listen, Nev, there's a lot of things working here. We see the Doomfist return to the point as that bomb gets thrown out, but I mean, there was nobody sitting there. They even managed to find out the Orisa. There's even going to be a DMAC onto X-Runner. The Doomfist is the one still staying alive, able to return back into this fight. We'll be having the Reinhardt in a few seconds, so they just need to stay alive and get that touch. Please tell me they get that touch. They barely do. At 41 meters left, they lose out onto Glacial. The Wrecking Ball is just doing so much work on displacing them, though they do have the immortality. Keeps them alive for a little longer. I can't believe we are looking at Troll Gang trolling how this match is supposed to go.
Yeah. I don't really know. They kind of just pressed Q. They had their ultimates. and the Orisa was able to live on point and didn't get caught by the blizzard, so they won. They weren't able to finish the fight fast enough, and then the damage and just the overall chaos of the comp kind of prevailed. This is like worse than one of my ranked games right now.
I mean, it's a curious one to look at as somebody who's hard stuck plat. I mean, Jesus is going to be charged, and the mines were used in a very claustrophobic spot, but nobody to get hit. The blade's going to be used very telegraphed and be stunned before it can really find anybody. So it's kind of just used to 1v1 against Speed, and Speed has healing, so there's not much that you're going to be getting in that factor. At least we see the Orisa on top of the high ground with the shield, so there's not much you're going to do, but then they drop, they leave, and they're just losing people every second by the clock.
Wow. And now we're kind of back to the phase of they're just kind of spawn camping them. But like, and they give up picks because the people are taking like some rather ballsy duels. And then yeah, and then but Speed should have Shatter here, and he should have basically a free Shatter coming up.
And we see that Bongo getting used. The wall will at least block the line of sight until it's eventually broken. Transcendent's going to keep them up, nullifying this ability. They get the boop on to Jesus, knocking them off the map, and I think similarly onto yep, the Orisa falls through. They're not going to be allowing anything up for chance as the side of Redveil. They're going to be stopping this on third point, but I mean, if I was in that match, I would be telling myself that they should have not gotten this far.
Yeah, I mean, it really seemed like, I won't say at first point seemed like a full hold, but it really seemed like they wouldn't cap second. But you know, overall, good recovery from Trolly Gang, like if that's what you can call it. They did a good job to take over. They did a good job of just using their like chaos, their like multiple angles to their advantage. Yeah. What I got at this point.
I'm a little more scared of what we might see Troll walk out on. If they're willing to run the Orisa Wrecking Ball on their own attack, I'm scared we're going to be looking at double shield or something worse on the defense.
Who knows, man? Who knows?
I mean, look at their composition. It's so close. It's one hero off, but it's practically the same. You know, let's talk about stats though. You know, that's something that we can at least look at with a good margin and not be confused of what is going on. More especially, you know, you got to be a little impressed. RKSC is able to kind of match up in ultimates is actually leading in ultimates in the game if you ignore the 14 on Diva, because that counts as the remake as well.
Yes.
They haven't necessarily been dying comparatively as much to the rest of the team. Well, still very similar even, but they're doing well in keeping themselves up. We are going to be seeing this fight take point. They're able to get a good amount of poke with that rotation. It's going to take its time. It seems like they don't want to go inside the hotel. They're not even worried about the hog. They do get the Fire Strike taking out Red X and then walking in. I mean, this is one of the reasons why you don't see a composition like this run on this map. It's just so easy to rush over.
Yeah, well, I mean, usually if you see you would probably see them like more high ground, which we really didn't see from the side of from Trolly Gang. They kind of just played low ground, which made it very easy for them to get run over.
Run over is the word. I would say more of a bulldozer. You know, if they were running the Doomfist, I would fully call it that, but you would yell at me for the composition.
It's fair. It's fair. I don't got a lot of words in terms of how to do that. Like, this is just a weird comp. They're playing more in multiple angles, but they're kind of sacrificing their backline for these angles. Like, they aren't setting up their backline to do anything. They're just getting walked at.
I feel even worse for Redix. Yeah, I mean, Redix is basically matching up on damage with the Roadhog, which is something.
Wait, are they? Wait, are they?
Yeah, if you.
Bro, what? I'm crying. That's hilarious.
Yeah, halfway is over these like 300. They'll be matching the Reinhardt. I mean, this fight is going to be taken not on point, more in the alleyways. I mean, this is Britain, so I feel like this is like the average of it. But I mean, the Roadhog's still there. They're still deciding on this composition to play, and the Reinhardt, look at this, will commit in Unluckily, they do land an anti, which is going to be the saving grace. That anti just absolutely shut down the fight, and the Blizzard could not save them from it. But that was that was confusing because half of the team wasn't there. Then they out of nowhere just appear as if it's Smooth Criminal.
Yeah, I mean they quite literally again taking multiple angles, doing a really good job that way, and the rush comp that Redveil is wanting wants to stay grouped, but they aren't really doing that. You know, like dropped is typing and gets hooked. I'm weak.
I mean, this is no better than any of my comp games. As you see, the Cassidy able to find 2. There is still a Roadhog, no, a Reinhardt in the backline. Eventually, it seems like they're more messing with them. And the Reinhardt, the Mei, they're freely able to move in. I mean, at least you have a bomb to take out Redix, who is trying to escape. That's the bright side of this map.
Yeah, that's not like they're gonna cap.
Well, they may have to deal with the Nano Blade first. You see,
He
it
is
comes
literally
through.
one.
Well, yes, I mean, that's true. Okay, I couldn't hype that up. I tried my best. Give Gomez a little bit of hope. Because look, the Shatter comes out, it misses. That Shatter just barely missed everybody. And now they're going to be staggering in to try and stop this cap at the point.
Oh, and Azali gets max range took. That's unfortunate.
I feel they're getting more KDs within their own chat than they are in this fight. As we see
No
that Shatter
shot.
trying to land.
Speed.
Yeah, no. I mean, there's still a free capture. They just didn't want to touch the point. It looked like they just kind of gave it up. And Redveil, they are the ones who are going to take this point, putting themselves at match point. However,
Play of the game.
convincingly
would not be the answer. Maybe Trolly have just been looking for the reverse sweep this entire map.
This is a very interesting. Now, Drop had a nice couple boops here, to be honest, but I'm very confused by this overall. This game overall.
I would agree too. It doesn't necessarily feel like organized Overwatch that we're always used to. This just more feels like a very 21 plus type of scrim where all the players are just intoxicated.
Bruh. Oh, someone left again. Classic.
Yep. So let's look on the bright side. It's map 2. We have one more map, and this is the chance for a Trolley gang to switch things up. All right, this is the time they can pull up their pants and they can take a dub, right?
Potentially.
Potentially. I mean, these are talented players too. I've seen glimpses of what they look like when they want to get a kill and when they want to get their job done. Especially if we say, for example, Busan, they didn't look necessarily terrible. They looked questionable, but not bad. But the more it goes on, they kind of live up to their namesake, even getting some switches in. Seems we're getting, not pronouncing that name, but 1-2 for Chicken.
I'll just call him Boo Boo.
Oh, called Boo Boo. All right. Last thing I'm trying to do is get that single ping of the name is wrong. But
I don't know if it's singular ping. I definitely pinged you multiple times.
okay, that is true. That is true. It's something that I'll always live for an event. But I mean, with the map types being Rialto, Route 66, and Watcher Gibraltar, I'm questioning what map would they want to run. Haven't seen a much from Trolley Gang to be able to say like, oh, they may want to run this map type or this. However, Rialto does seem to be that answer.
Yeah, potentially, yeah. They're gonna go Rialto. I think they're just gonna run whatever they want again.
I can see a Bastion coming out here. I fully believe a Bastion's just about to come out these doors.
Probably.
Probably. I mean, you know, at least they were prepared with the map this time. I'm proud of them for that. I'm proud of them for recognizing what they want to play when it comes down to Overwatch. But I still love Rialto. It's such a... I think it's a fun map. A lot of compositions you can technically run. Sometimes I see the double shield. Sometimes I don't see it. Sometimes I see the ball. Sometimes I see the range. So it's always a bit of mixed feelings here.
Yeah, sure.
So,
Yeah.
I think the bigger question is, how come these players aren't starting? I mean, they're all 6. in the game, they're having fun talking to each other. You know, they're playing 20 questions right now.
Yeah, it does seem that way.
Yeah, but I mean, for Redveil, I mean, what does this mean for them after they if they take this victory? What does this like in the grand scheme mean for them?
I think they get number 1 seed. I'll check the standings. I'm pretty sure they get number 1 seed.
I mean, that's absolutely massive. I mean, teams have been able to like control the pace of playoffs solely by taking.
Oh, so it is not playoffs. It is we have a mid-season tournament this season.
Ah.
Yes.
Yeah, but still, I mean, taking the number 1 seed, you set yourself up for a lot there.
True.
Yeah, so with us going in to the match, I think I'm a bit more scared of re-seeing that Orisa Hog composition. I mean, this is the map where it works, right?
I mean, sure. I guess. Yeah, I really don't know.
I mean, when it's these players, it's a bit of mixed feelings. At least we're looking at Dive. I mean, though they still get a bit more room to switch out. Told you we were going to see the Bastion. Whether or not it comes out is the question. But Brawl. Full-out Brawl. And if you know, in your experience of Overwatch 1, why play this type of version of Brawl on this point?
You asked me what the point of Brawl is?
Sorry. Well, no, but like specifically this version, at least for me, I'm not too used to seeing that in May. I mean, there's like you have one alleyway to where you're gonna be able to get that wall out.
Well, usually you close hold with this, but like there is a certain point where if your comp is better, you're just better. Okay. It's pretty simple. Like also like dropping from high ground and just pushing cart and holding cart at that corner is fairly easy, but you see they're gonna attempt a close hold of some sort.
Definitely one I'm not used to, but we do see the Bastion sitting on the point. They are going to rush out, put some pressure. Immortality is not needed. Glacier's able to take 2 out after their Reinhardt is going to fall. So at least they get to regroup, get their Reinhardt back, but that was a quick fight in their favor.
Yeah, though they are going to lose that little advantage like pretty much immediately. Because they lose the Rein on the engage to the Bastion. And then they kind of... Orisa is not it. I'm assuming that extra means it. This is interesting. We got Redx on. We get Redx on. Quiet down, Brawl OTPs. Nice. As their Hog is just gonna die. Yep.
Yeah, they're set up. You know, look at that. The shield is taking so much damage. They're gonna ignore the Orisa, go after the Bastion. Best play that they could have gone for, as the Orisa wants to do their best to stay alive, control that point, but I really don't expect them to be able to move out with this Bastion anymore. Once they were set up, that was the best they had.
But you see, like, now that they attended that first really close fight, they basically got a whole second fight on that corner. Like, you can do that really well with Rush because of just the speed boost and how you can move across flat. Oh, that hook broke. Oof. And now, like, to get position, they really have to take some interesting angles to even get position on anyone. As Azali gets killed by a dragon. And
that's unfortunate. Yeah, they're being taken out. I mean, that immortality was also just in the worst spot. Not going to be able to protect. You stand down, you just get body blocked and taken out. The bomb being committed as well is going to take out the Bastion. Okay, that's a free fight you get there. The Mace still alive.
Yeah, they'll get a recontest before, yeah, you see, like, they're already back. Like, go get a recontest before the cap first. Like, and this little hallway right here is really hard to hold.
I agree.
Oh, okay, what a hood.
Yeah, that was a bit of a questionable behind it. Want to give respect to your opponent. I mean, they are going to get this touch. There's what, a Reinhardt, a Bap, Ana. I mean, Lucio just trying to sit there and touch. That move is just not going to be enough to knock them out. As we see the ult start flying through. Inside of Trolly are feeling a bit more confident. That Mei ult is going to try, but it's really just giving them a bit more space. Bastion's return has that ultimate. They're just able to stay far back, shoot, hit you with that blast damage, and capture the point. But with the Widowmaker now coming in, getting at least a bit of chip damage, the Mei's the only person sitting on the point. No, it's not going to... Oh, no, the Ryan's coming back. This is a long fight, but one that is very messy.
Yeah. So, how I kind of talked about you take these fights, they kind of just played super split, which took away all advantage they had of playing Like that's really it. They kind of lost all their advantage.
That's extremely fair. I mean, they at least have a better chance here. I mean, this entire second point is high ground based.
Yeah. I've always said you can make Brawl work on defense, but it's harder to make it work on attack. But that's really bad Bongo.
Oh, I would agree. Bongo's broken immediately. Just they're able to save themselves from any type of hook rushing down. I mean, this Bastion has to technically go up the stairs to get to the high ground with the rest of the team, and at that point, Redveil just needs to ignore them. I mean, they don't really have to worry about too much. The natural covers for them.
Yeah. Wow. I got no real words at this current juncture.
Yeah, but I'm sure you have a paragraph waiting for them, certainly.
Nah, I mean, the hog is just crossing an open space. It's probably gonna die now because, yep, because they used their E just to cross the bridge. This is a really powerful spot to hold. Oh wow.
Yeah, they throw that bomb out, takes out the Bastion again. That was very. That was
Gomez just stared and looked at it.
Oh, and a res out in the open. Nobody shoots at. That's a bit impressive. High noon shatter. That's just the cleanup. They were just done playing around.
Yeah, but Speed gets soloed Hog to get. Oh, never mind, not solo Hog.
Damage boost engaged.
They should get a fight off this.
Yeah, you would assume.
Now, if I'm Redveil, they're probably going to contest on the corner here. So, we will see that happen here, because they're just going to drop from high ground.
Now they're going to take this fight. We see that Blizzard get used. Everybody's caught in it. There's just nothing the side of Trolly can do, as you see, with 1 minute and 30 seconds left on the clock, they're going to get melted. Even the Hog being lightly staggered, stuck inside the back.
Red X's Q is getting nutty-aided. I don't know, from my POV, it looked like you just ate in a general direction and he threw it at your feet, bro.
That's practically what happened. Like, that's the best way I could put it.
Yeah. And they're down 2 going to this fight. Oh, but really nice fire strike from, but they might get the...
Really? Oh, but look at that charge going in. That immortality got thrown over the railing. So there's actually no immortality from Reefy to protect the team. They do have a Valking Mercy walking in, able to survive, but then the Hanzo wanting to kind of get a piece of that. However, the Tracer gets picked off. With the bomb being
I don't think that did what you thought it was going to do.
Yeah, I don't think so either. They are contesting the points, so we're not going to be having any chance of a C9, but there's 30 seconds left on the clock, and the sound barrier gets used so they can rush out onto their opponents. Veridic Flux wants to try and stop them out, but look, they're perfectly safe. They're feeling fine. There's a Sigma walking into them, but they don't care.
Yeah. Nice eat from Max Runner there. They have 20 seconds left. Oh, Speedy's gonna get creative or try to. Even though Red X Jesus definitely sees them on his ball.
10 seconds remaining.
Yeah, oops.
Wait.
I don't
he definitely got booped. He definitely got booped.
No, because Speed did not get booped. If you get booped, it would have shown up on the screen. That
No,
means
but like I watched a Lucio next. I'm so confused.
That means Speed jumped off. As you see, a big slam landing through Immortality is not gonna save them once again. Trolly manages to break the odds. Wait, are they just not? No, they are going to touch the point. Just barely last second. That Blizzard is going to help out, but Immortality keeps them up. Those supports are, well, support is going to be able to live for a little longer, but this does allow for a recontest. However, not one of a full team.
Please don't give up. Like, why are we continuing my suffering?
Well,
oh, Azali just...
And that's going to help out. Tanks are able to sit on point. They have support. CS the Wrecking Ball is able to sit there, get some damage, but Reefy's going to fall. They use the Shadow to help break some of the mines, but I think it actually fell into the shield or just missed everybody completely as it's going to fall. Charge is going to be going way too open in the air as the Sigma is sitting on the point. Eventually, the Deep is going to be there. That stopped on second point, but I mean, that was a little bit of funny haha moments from the side of Redveil, I believe.
Score
Yeah, the Red X blocked Shatter, guys.
2-1.
Big dubs for Big dubs for Red X. He blocked Shatter. Big dubs.
Oh, massive.
Initiating match.
But now this is where the hold comes in. If this is a chance to run Bastion, I see it happening.
Yeah. And that being said, Speedy definitely could have hit like 3 with his shatter if he had just shattered at any other time. Like Redix just left shield up and Speed shattered into it.
Hmm.
This is such a game.
Ready for
It is truly. You have said it best. This is truly such a game. On the bright side, at least Bubba is able to get at least 700 damage as a support player. So I mean, living up to the of what we should expect. How should this hog? I mean, this hog wrecking ball. They look good on the wrecking ball. At least I think Jesus has been doing a lot more on the wrecking ball than comparably before. So I mean, this composition seems to be what they are more favoring. But how do you feel about that Baptiste there?
Huh?
How do you feel about that Baptiste on the side of Troll? So I don't have the best feeling.
At this point, I don't know what they're running, man. I don't think it makes any sense. They're still playing like a poke comp because they're playing the Zen, so cool. Good for them.
All right,
That's all I got.
Yeah, that's fair. I can give you that. We do see the hook come out. Oh, beautiful bubble from X-Runner. Manages to save speed. They just need to find a single target to dive on. And that's going to be really quick. The moment this payload enters around the corner, that's where they get that opportunity. Unfortunately, X-Runner is going to get hooked. It does get the bubble, so it helps kind of make up for the lack of the resources now inside their pocket, as X-Runner's now being collapsed on top.
X-Runner's so dead, bro.
Yeah, I mean, no, X-Runner may live here. Oh, look, it's just barely on by a thread, but Speed's there being a menace as well. They do take out not only Jesus and Super Gomez in return from that, but the Hog is going to fall close after. This is not a scenario that they wanted.
Yeah, you know how, like I said, like playing split and stuff just led to picks happening and such, and like when they were on the rush. Now that they're kind of running a dive that has a lot more like self-sustaining parts, the same thing is happening. Really? Trolly Gang should have won that fight. But they kind of just all went off on their own, all trying to do 1 or 2 different things, and they died one by one.
It feels like they
As
play...
the ball gets slept in the back line.
And this is not the playstyle of the Overwatch 2 comp that we're fairly used to. As Jesus falls, once again, we are going to see that hook stop the slam down. Speed is looking to get a little closer in. They will be booped back by the whole hog, but nope, they are going to fall before they have a chance to use Primal. Meaning that this is going to be one more reset. However, we're looking at the ult economy here. They're feeling pretty safe.
Rialto is super difficult to like cap first, in my opinion. Like, it's so easily stallable. So even though since you have Minimus, I wouldn't be worried if I was, if I was Redveil yet. Because, yeah.
I mean, you have to. Bob gets thrown out. It's having some fun as Reefy Deefy is going to be falling. But, I mean, this is just them throwing out ultimates. It doesn't look like they really have a coordinated plan.
Yeah, it doesn't really surprise me. I do like the brig swap. Like, now it's like kind of just a ball. It's an Ash Tracer ball comp, but now with the Hog instead of a Diva or a Sig.
Yeah, Nano gets thrown in. Monkey's able to go into the back as that grab gets thrown on the high ground. It does stop the mines from getting to where they want it to be, but the Dynamite's going to take them out beforehand. And yet, the only person being on this point that has a chance of contesting is going to be that Roadhog. They may be able to get this captured mixing.
Wow. Super Gomez is doing really well in the Tracer, honestly. As Red X gets another hook, and they're getting, like, they don't really have a whole lot of ults, but neither does either team. And if I'm Redveil, you just need to group up, dive together, and then just use your rally to take that on. As Glacial's going to try and take on Super Gomez together. I like this rally, just start walking.
Yep, they are going to start walking. However, Speed is going to be picked off immediately. Thought that Monkey is going to be causing some problems. However, they've decided to take this high ground. They could just fall on top of anybody that they want. You're already seeing Glacial kind of scout for anybody who's low, but the entirety of the side of Trolly want to play behind the payload, play far back, and, well, feel mostly safe. We do see them take out Reefy, place the pulse bomb, able to take out 1-2. This has been the fight that they've been looking for. That whole hog using the alley, but most of it is going to be taken out with the DM. Building some security. We're finally going to see that point get captured, and the final phase starts to kind of rear its ugly head.
Beautiful engage from Redveil, honestly. Like, literally just beautiful engage. I didn't even notice that Speed swaps the ball and they just slam immediately. And as soon as they slam, that's Glacial and X-Runner's go button. And they eviscerate the back line of Trolly Gang. So really nice there.
They are going to have an early set on top of this high ground. Able to get a small hook onto the
Oh.
Diva, and even throw out that pulse bomb. Manages to stick, takes out two, and there's not much you're going to be able to stop against it. However, fighting Redix does help benefit you for this fight. However, Jesus does have those mines. They can place it, stop the speed, force them to have to regroup. That doesn't look like it really wants to be the answer just yet, as they take over the high ground.
Oh my, and Azali gets like a direct with the rocket hit and just melts Reefy. Reefy DV doing a little trolling.
I would agree with that, though Speed is at least able to go and slam against Redix, who's returned to the fight. They even placed the mines in a beautiful spot, stopping the supports from being able to help the rest of the team. Speed's gonna fall as Advisor gets used, running into the back. It's mostly hitting with the Nano, mostly walls and air, but at least it's being able to be a bit of a nuisance as Azel is gonna be stunned, taken out. The Diva still has a chance to continue pushing this a little farther, but it's not gonna be lasting too long. As that bomb gets thrown, it gets shielded, so you're not gonna do much, but the Transcendence is still, interestingly enough, forced. It's a scrappy fight, but I'm more questioning of the commitment that we're seeing Redveil kind of, want to do.
I just gotta say that Jesus just literally ended the charge at the perfect time to block the bomb from killing 1-2. Like, that was just so funny to me. It's gonna be, they have a minute, they don't really have any ults, so I don't really know what their plan is, but oh, they killed Redx immediately.
Yeah, they also get the 2K bomb. They scout out the possible C9, and there's really not much the side of Redveil can do. They've kind of started memeing around. Reefy Deefy is going to fall, but Glacial is going to be doing the same. They have 40 seconds on the clock. They don't have many ultimates in sight, but they do manage to force out the ones from their opponents.
Yeah, Rialto, again, like I've said before, is like, if you're going to hold on any map, Rialto's it. Rialto's just super defensively favored, and both teams have shown that with, like, short attacks. And going into this, though, is Trolly going to get the fuller hold.
Yep, we see that slam, hoping to make a bit of a problem. Pulse bomb lands onto the shield, and it ends up going at the Ashe as Glacial also finishes off Reddick. Though when the moment seems to be mattering the most, they are not able to finish this out. Reinhardt is on the point. They have the rally, but the Visor's placed far into the back. They cannot shield and try and fight onto the point. They do play into the corners, feeling a little more safe as Bubba's rally is eventually going to end. The Transcendence is going to be keeping them up. This has been the moment they've been waiting for. There is a small contest as that Wrecking Ball Pulse Bomb are there to help out. The Reinhardt even getting the charge, and there has to be a bit better of a focus fire if they want to be able to win that charge. It's managing to shut down Glacial. As you see, the Reinhardt just barely being able to survive, but they've lost out on their brig. That Bob slamming the Wrecking Ball into the air. This is actually where they're going to crumble. This is where they're going to fall. Transcendence going to confirm it. Even if Exxon manages to touch the point, it's just not enough. Trolly have managed to just by an inch take that map. However, does not feel as if their opponents were taking it too seriously.
End my suffering, please.
My goodness. I mean, that's a fair assessment. It's hard to cast the game without truly understanding what these players want to go for. At least she's able to get that whole hog environmental kill. It seems like we may be ending this on a 2CP map, so there's a lot that could be said on that. Because that could be a full hold scenario. It could be your dream.
Yeah. Yeah. I have no words.
It's okay. It's okay, Navina. You know, sometimes you live life smiling, sometimes you don't. At least we know that our next map is going to be Hanamura. So, jazz hands for that type of scenario. Hanamura is a fun map. Hanamura is a full hold map, though, annoyingly enough, Hanamura is a map that we'll always see back and forths on. So, whether this will end your suffering, I cannot tell you, because it could end on a draw.
Yeah. That would be the cursed timeline. That would really be the cursed timeline.
I mean, I could fully expect it at this point. Players are already giving out their R, so it seems like without much of a hesitation, we are going to be going directly into this game. There still is that chance for the full hold coming from Trolly Gang, but we do want to see a bit more coordination coming out of them if they want that opportunity. to be able to bring out that victory. They're going to be also memeing on each other, just asking to wrap it up, seeing what can happen.
Traveling.
I don't know if
Yeah.
they ever gave an R.
Initiating
Because all the people saying R were on the team Redveil's team.
I mean, Redix said R.
Oh no, never mind. I didn't see
Yeah,
Red.
Redix said R. I pay attention to Redix. But Natamura has just been one of those maps I've actually lightly missed by either casting or playing Overwatch 2. I just think this map looks nice. It could be a good push map if they changed it around,
I don't know about being a push map, but yeah, definitely could. Like, of the two CPs, is probably like the second point is the devil, but
Yeah.
like first point, I'm all right with. Anubis, like all the two CP maps are kind of a
Just
booty,
change them, just expand them, make them hybrid. Easy.
incoming in 30 seconds.
and maybe. I really have no idea what the plan is, if they're just retired entirely or whatever. For all we know, we could probably still end up playing them in quick play. We will see though.
Yeah.
As now we see Narissa Diva look out with a Bap Zen, which I'm fine with. As you see this weird Ryan Hog, Ryan Czar,
5, 4,
but with Bap Zen.
3,
This will be interesting.
1.
Whoa, that was.
It could be very interesting. They don't have the speed boost, so I don't really know where they're going to go, nor a teleporter to set themselves on the point. They're brawling into by far the worst scenario I can possibly imagine. At least the Tracer was there being able to put some pressure. There's a charge on the point. Jesus is actually going to be able to possibly get a free tick from this. They do lose
my
to Zenyatta. As there is a bit of a contest, they're not really wanting to pay attention to that Reinhardt. They're more focused onto that Zarya, onto that Tracer who's about to take out the Baptiste. Those speed's able to take out the counter one in respect.
Yes, Gomez is doing a really good job of just harassing the backline. And like, they're not playing the Brig, so it's just really hard to... Oh, and then they're probably going to get a nice flash here. Oh, no, they don't.
No.
Never mind, they didn't have flash. I thought they might have had flash. Where did the ride come from?
Jesus was still there, never left their back. Eventually does go for that charge, will be punished. Look at that, 1-2's going on the Widowmaker. They're done playing this game.
Oh, now they're on ball. Okay, so we're about to see some actual engages. So this Babzen's probably going to really suck for the side of, what's it called? Of Redveil. But yeah. Unless Jesus just gets, harassed in the backline to death.
I don't see how they're
nice
gonna be able
shot.
to... There's not much that they can do to break through this. I mean, look at that. Azel's able to build up an insanely quick Bob, just sitting there poking them out before they could even try and break through that choke.
Yeah. I have no words for this, because, like, you thought maybe Trolly Gang would try to get the reverse sweep, but it does not seem that way. And I also see Redveil actually just actively decides they don't want to lose now.
Yeah, they're coordinating, they're planning. Dragons is going to be counteracted by the Transcendence, but right back at them. There's not much that they can do. You're seeing this Glacial's going to fall, but the Orissa's hoping to build up this Bongo. No, does, and finishes them out. Able to commit that damage. We see the bomb being thrown inside the small room, only managing to tick up Bubba, but this is practically over. Seems like you've cast or cursed them, Nev.
It seems so. It really does seem that way. It's like, it felt like they just didn't push in when they had to, and they used cooldown, and like they didn't capitalize on like the discorded Red X kill them when they got pulled back outside the door. Still very winnable, but it's just, this is why. Honestly, if I am Redveil, I would consider going to Bat Brig if I'm going to play the Orisa Diva.
Time to raid my APM.
I absolutely agree. I mean, the Brig's going to be able to give you a lot more sustainability, at least as able to win off that 1v1 immediately. Super Gomez is going to be begging for that 1v1, wants to be able to ego, get that victory. As everybody else just walks out, Redix does have that whole hog. They're in a very tight corridor. That's not going to be looking good if they decide to stay there, but it seems like more of a wait for a pick. 1-2's going to use those sights, be able to see. Now we get to look at how this fight's going to work.
Yeah.
Look at this. Now committing in. Mines are used on the point. If anybody drops down, they won't be able, but luckily the Diva was there to be able to fly over it, able to get that sustained. There's going to be an equal trade on both DPS, but near a take is confirmed. However, this is 2CP. If they don't win out this fight now, it's never going to happen. You see that hook, Speed able to go back onto the point, and they take out 1-2. Now a window's there. Immortality is not going to be able to help. They need somebody to stay on that point as... Look at that, the Hulk manages to push them back inside the pulse bomb, securing the ability to be able to contest onto this point, but a tick was secured.
Yeah, I mean, really good engages coming out. I like the aggression. Red X is kind of just walking, holding W key, you know, being a menace, and just having a good old time.
Yeah, that's really fair statement.
Yeah, like this has been a good game. This has been a good match thus far. I like the Azali switch to Tracer, just kind of contest Gomez. Oh, but Glacial goes down to the pulse.
Yeah, that's not a good feeling. They are going to be using that bomb on the high ground, but instantly have to leave it. That bomb also gets thrown to like try and focus out the Zenyatta, but they weren't in that position anymore. This actually may be a full capture if they manage to do this up fast enough. I mean, X-Runner is still on the point, giving a bit more time for the Ashe. Not going to be having a chance for that Bob to build up, and well, it does look like, yeah, this is a really good chance of having that full cap.
Yeah.
What it doesn't seem... You know, one moment they look like they know what they're doing, the next moment, we are going to the next point, you know?
0-2.
I truly am struggling to, like, talk about this game, because it seems so silly at points, but, like, this is truly, I'm watching, like, Gomez is just literally killing and, like, harassing the DPS players, and it feels like, as well, that the front, like, the core for Redveil just doesn't know when to walk, or doesn't really capitalize on cooldown usage. They're kind of just, like, sitting there waiting for Glacial and Azali to kill stuff, which is not what you want to do.
I mean, I agree. I also just, like, I feel Redveil, one moment they're doing really good when it comes to spacing, positioning themselves, and then the next moment, the rest of the team is just kind of playing it as if it's Overwatch 2. They're split off, they're not fully focused in, and they get taken out from it. And that's kind of what's costing them a lot of this time.
Yeah, I would agree. Like, it's tough to look at. And you're going to see them run the rush here again. They're going to go over the Sim TP. I think that Trolly is going to do a good job of stopping it, just based on how we've seen them play. And we'll see if, like, Redveil can keep the focus fire up. Because, like, I keep seeing them trying to overextend because they think this game is free. And as they overextend, like, Trolly gang just punishes them. And you see, now they get used to cooldowns. Like, that, like, Jesus is already 32% to his ult.
My goodness. At least that TP is going to be perfect on the point. I mean, the Lucio does almost fall, but look at that. They are sitting safe, using that wall to block it off. They are taking this 100% seriously, it seems, as they're able to get this rotation. Not able to confirm a pick just yet, but Jesus is extremely low. First tick is secured. Everybody else, especially Redix, wants to try and do their best to get at least a hook onto somebody. It seems to be onto Glacial. The Wrecking Ball is going to be able to touch in before that can reach a tick and a half. And as eventually Speed's going to fall, it's really up to the Symmetra to kind of make up for that damage that the tanks aren't going to be providing. Look at this, the Hog is the one who's going to be sitting there, has that high noon.
High noon.
2? I mean, that's just insane that we're going to be seeing a reset here.
Well, what's nice is always going to have the wall, but you really don't want to use the wall if you're Redveil, because you want that wall to take second, truly. And hopefully they are able to use it to take second. But only time will really tell in that regard. As we now just wait and watch as they mine where... Okay, Jesus.
Yeah, look, they're going to be sitting safe, at least, on this point, away from the mines that are nowhere at them. Speed is going to look to be able to protect them, but once that sound barrier goes through, going to miss the charge and walk into their opponents, getting Fan the Hammer and taken out. The window's still there. That could be a big problem for them. That's a lot of damage going through a singular spot, but they are able to finish it out, even use a wall to try and stop the healing. Entering in for the side of Jesus, but Jesus is going to be able to escape. Contestant comes from Bubba. The Wrecking Ball then touches, sits safely, manages to get some boops, but that's officially going to be over.
Yeah, and they only used the beat for that. They have Blizzard, they have Wall. They should be able to snowball this. Now, the Junkrat might make it a little difficult. Like, they probably know what they're going to do. If I'm then, like, I'm already talking about it. But I do like this. And I like this as well, but they do have the Transcendence to bring it back out.
Oh, but the
Big eat, though,
pulse
from X Runner.
absolutely massive eat. One of the first that we're seeing in this series. Bomb gets thrown in, hoping to find those in the back, able to take out both of the supports. That's the first tick confirmed. Second tick is coming close. I don't think there's anybody who can actually touch here. You see as the boop takes out Jesus from being able to touch. That's double the time bank.
Oh no.
Score
End my suffering.
2-2.
End my suffering.
There's
This-
no amount of suffering that I can help you with.
It's true. It's very true.
Initiating match.
I mean, at this point, Navito, this is where the possible suspension on every single one of these players is a active idea. But at least we're sitting in a moment where this is, although the map is going to continue on, I'm quite curious to see what it's going to be for the defense. I mean, there is that wrecking ball for the attack, but we're no longer looking at a possible risk up for the stand. They just want to go out on this brawl, maybe sit on that point.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, the brawl defense here is actually pretty popular, where you put a TP between the corner and point and just TP back and forth as they try and take point. Now, that being said, I don't think that's what they're going to do. And now you see Red X off the hog and onto Sigma. So I'm very interested to see how this goes.
Ready for combat.
They have more poke, but they might get run at a little bit easier because like the hog has an insta kill, right? Now, that being said, the Sig is much more traditional and can do more things,
1.
but we will see how this goes.
Defend objective.
Yeah, that's fair enough. We're going to already see it kind of get its headway. As that damage is going to be walking out, Gomez is going to fall immediately. There is a Widow, 1-2, sitting on top. Does have to worry about a tiny bit of poke, but is basically free to set up there for as long as they want.
Yeah, but now you're going to see Jesus is going to try and force point. So X-Runner's got to leave, and now there's nothing to really stop the spam from the rest of the team. Oh, and the Widow's now top right. But they do get a really nice wall in the Sig.
Oh, I agree. Good slam. It's going to be helped to take out that, well, immortality, but they're not able to kind of do too much, but moving back in. I mean, nobody can really touch there on the point besides from X-Runner, who has to kind of leave the mat, but Jesus is still sitting there freely, able to escape. The wall's going to give them a bit more coverage. Speed does have the shatter, and this could be absolutely free if they walk past it, but Speed does fall before they're able to commit it. Just gets stunned far too much. You do see, look at that. No immortality is going to be able to protect them. Window able to help secure 3 picks, less than a minute. That's going to be 1 regroup for a chance to be able to win this.
Yeah, but I like this Hanzo switch. Like, Gomez did a little bit, but I really like the Hanzo switch because it just gives even more pressure and damage. So once X-Runner leaves to contest point, they have no way to eat all that spam. As you see him just going for these random picks. Like, Hanzo's the chief bullshit character, right?
You do see, look at that. Redx able to use that. Well, they use that shatter, though. They're not able to kill off Redx. Gravitic Flex is going to slam, but the Sound Barrier able to keep them up during the mid. Redx is now going to be walking into the back or midst of the team, but they're at a big disadvantage. Looks like they won't be securing a tick anytime soon, though the mines are at least able to cause them to not really be able to walk as close as they want. Though with the Zen, just staying there with the Baptiste, it's not really going to be working too well. You see, as they get knocked out, and well, this is a drawable map. But with 4 minutes and 35 seconds on the clock, I don't think that's a possibility.
It's definitely possible, but will it happen? We will see. Not likely, but definitely possible.
2-2. Switch.
Azali kind of just held the off angle. So you know, I talked about like X-Runner keeps going back to point to contest. Azali was like, yeah, screw that. I'm gonna be the one that plays point, which is really curious. But it makes sense now that you think about it, because without the tracer, the ball then has to 1v1 the cast at all times, and the cast can just get heals from the BAP or play on health packs and use a stun really effectively, which is really what Azali did. They just played it truly effectively there.
Yeah, but now, I mean, now comes the question in, we're going to see that TP strategy work come out. But will we see Troll kind of anticipate where it's going to work? I mean, they're running the Torb and Junkrat. Would you say that's like a soft counter, hard counter idea?
I mean, it's very spammy. I don't know if the Torb really does that. I would rather have a Hanzo if you're going to go full spam. But I guess, like, the turret's extra damage, and then you also have, like, Molten Core is a good ult if you're someone's trying to run, like, a Sim TP strat. As long as you, of course, build the ult. It's very possible that they just never get to build the ult. Yeah, like I got nothing more than that really to say.
Yeah, I guess the question just has to go and see how it's going to work in the end. I mean, they're already setting up. You see, as that trap's being placed on directly onto the point. I really hope they don't fall for that very telegraphed idea. It does look like they want to place it more on top of the corner, play to the side. They're able to take out the immortality incredibly early, and then Jesus, which is a sentence I believe I was expecting to say, but taking out that Torbjorn, it's basically a guaranteed team fight win. Baptiste, Lucio, it's all going down as we see them crumble beneath their feet. That tick will be secured, and you're looking at Redveil continuing their series alive and hopeful as they manage to win 3-1.
Yeah, they cleaned it up. Big thing I noticed was I like the idea of playing to counter the Sim TV strat, but they made a really, really good call to just focus the Rhine that was in front of them, because the Rhine was holding split, and then they were able to just push the ever-living crap out of of Jesus and kill him.
That is true. But we finally sit here at the end, and we're going to be having a moment to be able to get to know what was going on in these players' minds, what was happening, and how they were able to take out the victory. So don't you go anywhere, because we'll be right back with an interview.
No, we're not.
All
Yeah,
right.
say goodbye, Intel.
All right. Well, welcome back, everybody. Navino has put his beard on the table and decided these players aren't beginning an interview. So, if you enjoyed everything that you saw, highly recommend you hit that follow button to stay up to date with everything League Zero. Things are going to continue to wrap up, and it's only going to get more exciting, so don't you go anywhere, because there are more matches throughout the week, and so you always want to stay up to date. But, nevertheless, see you next time.